of the interstitial of 1493. And why don't we go to Pope?
He went to the Capitol in 1493. We just read the 1452, so we're 40 years earlier with our, you know what I'm saying, particular document and recon here. So this is what we do. Let's go.
John Paul II and the Vatican, and call upon them to formally revoke that document that called for the subjugation of so-called barbarous nations. And so I had the good fortune to meet my friend and colleague and mentor Virgil Killstreak from the Oglala Lakota Nation, who is a ceremonial man, and we decided to go on a tour in different parts of the world to begin that campaign, and we did. And under Virgil's wing and guidance and so forth, with his connections, we were able to begin that work. And we made many trips to Italy, and I was at the Vatican in 2000. We went to other parts of the world, such as Australia, New Zealand, and he went to France, I went to England, and many different countries, and began to publicize that information. And I know that some people have begun publicizing that even before us. But it's amazing to look now and see that since the issue was brought forward to the UN to the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, and working with Tanya and Chief Warren Lyons, we were able to move it forward. And so it's really very prominent on the world stage, and it's wonderful to see this event organized with a specific focus on what's been called the doctrine of discovery. One of the things I'd like to mention is a quote from Francisco de Vitoria, and he made a statement. He said, "Sovereigns, if they had to trace their title to their rule back to its origin, they could not keep anything they discovered." And of course, discovered is always in quotation marks. But one of the key points in doing the research that I've done over such a long period of time is to look at the English language, this colonizer's language that we're operating within today, and to look deeper into that language and to understand some of the meanings that are not obvious immediately, but when we dig a little bit deeper, we begin to see those meanings and to awaken to a different dimension. And I'll just give you an example. The word mortgage. It's actually two words. The first is mort, which is death, and gauge, which is grip. And so if we say, I have to pay my death grip this month, but I don't know where I'm going to get the money, it puts it into a whole different context. And there are a number of words like that. For example, the word America is actually Ame and Rika. Ame is a command, love, and Rika is riches and wealth. So it's a command to love riches and wealth. So the American dream is the dream of riches and wealth. And these are just a couple of examples.
See, when a prophecy, you know what I'm saying, gets a little big, and they put the prophecy on, it's going to get a lot of hijack with a little bit of drop. Sometimes a lot of drop with a little bit of hijack. But as you already know, I mean, even when you break it down like that, I mean, why can't it just be referring to the land of love and wealth? Why does it have to be on you love riches and wealth? Why can't it be love, riches, wealth? Why can't it be the promised land of riches and love and wealth? I mean, however you break it down is an interpretation. But the way he just broke it down is he was like, oh man, this must mean greed. America must mean greed. And when you look at him, you know, he looks very, very similar to any other Caucasian coming out of, you know, any part of Europe. Right? But he has these flags on the back, and he has, you know what I'm saying, a little drop on some, you know, so-called native shit. And a lot of it's just mixed up, hijacked, Canaanite bullshit, all kind of just mixed up bullshit. And they're fronting as if they were here 1,000 years, 2,000 years. You're going to hear them say, oh, yeah, our ancestors from 2,000 years. You just got the job. You just got the job on what's really here. You just got the job on what's really going on. And the cause, what's really here in Peru. talking, see, this is what he's related to. This is what they're calling the Mongol connection. Even that's hijacked. All these, this is a golden Inca female figure. Connected to the Egypt, right? I can see these golden lines. Machu Picchu, 15th century Inca estate, Cusco. The more you look, the more you're just gonna find you. Pedro Alves Cabral, slightly whitenized picture of American Bank. Man, you're just gonna find you. Now this gets interesting, right? Now this is a general of the Portuguese colony. A general of the Portuguese colony. And yes, he looks like the Charles picture, right? Dark Portuguese, dark Spanish. This is the real picture. 19th century Brazilian. So we're talking 1800s. Again, the definition of America. This is Mama. This looks very similar to Mama. Very similar. So, and my mama, you know what I'm saying? Draped in gold, draped in gold, draped in gold in South America in the 1800s. The definition of an American is these copper-colored tribes that are found. And we're just talking Mama. All right, so let's keep all that in mind, man. When we talk to Proxy, he's saying that he's relating to Mama. Is he relating to Mama? You be the judge. Let's go.
Examples of how when you begin to break English words apart and you realize that some 60% of English is actually originating in the Latin language, which is the language of the Roman Empire, then you can see the ways in which it can be easily manipulated for purposes of domination and control. Today, Louise did such a marvelous job of taking you through a tremendous amount of the history over the last several decades, and understanding what's been happening in what's often called the law, but I prefer to put two additional letters on the word the, which is the letters IR, making it their law, and making sure that we make that distinguishment, that it's their law, the colonizers' law that they brought from afar. And but she did a tremendous job, as you heard, going through a lot of the minutiae of the cases and the way in which legal decisions are manipulated. And, of course, you heard Walter Echohawk and you heard Robert Miller speak earlier on some of the origins of Johnson versus McIntosh. I think Walter did a terrific job of explaining the fraud that was involved in that case. And